These methods can aid students that have the ability to decipher well yet have problem recognizing what they read, and also they're advantageous for all students. We typically visualize kids that have a hard time to decipher the letters in message and also transform them right into talked language when we believe of reading problems. This sort of battling viewers has an extremely tough time determining what most of words are and also has bad phonological, speech sound abilities. There are likewise lots of trainees that appear like they're reading perfectly, however have trouble with recognizing vocabulary and also metaphorical language, inferencing, spoken thinking, grammatic growth, as well as dental expression. As youngsters age, if they are translating message, will we think they read well? When an individual discovers to decipher, reading understanding comes to be much more concerning language understanding and also emphasis. At this change, beginning around third quality, instructors might start to discover some students that decipher message with complete confidence yet are not recognizing, because this kind of battling visitor is much less recognizable than ones that have trouble translating. They typically slide under the radar up until they start to stop working standard state understanding examinations. Also after that, their concerns might go unseen for a very long time, leading to higher and also center college students that seem like they read however recognize absolutely nothing that they have actually read. These having a hard time viewers must be targeted for removal. The earlier the much better. Removal being composed of technique flows and also inquiries might be inefficient as it concentrates also directly on text-based abilities. Supporting students WHO struggle with comprehension. Here are 5 strategies to try out with students who read fluently but struggle to comprehend what they're reading. 1. Target overall comprehension of language. Current research study discloses that reading understanding troubles might originate from an underlying dental language weak point that dates very early childhood years. Prior to reading is also shown. It ends up that students that have inadequate reading understanding likewise commonly comprehend less talked words, and also much less of what they listen to, as well as have actually even worse talked grammar. To resolve reading understanding shortages properly, teachers might have to utilize a method that educates vocabulary, believing abilities, and also understanding initially in talked language and also after that in reading and also composed language. 2. Teach vocabulary. Since trainees with inadequate understanding usually have bad vocabulary abilities as well as comprehend much less of what they listen to, it's practical to instruct the significances of brand new words via making use of multisensory techniques like visuals coordinators, photos, as well as mnemonics. Improving their general language abilities raises the chance that they will certainly recognize words they experience in composed message. Considering that it is difficult to understand every word one could run into, students ought to be instructed concerning the various sorts of context hints as well as just how to utilize them to identify the definition of unidentified words. 3. Teach thinking strategies. When students have the vocabulary to be able to make it with a message, they usually battle with the intricate reasoning or continual focus needed to stay on top of every one of the crucial information as well as to gain access to details that is indicated however not straight mentioned. Educators can advise students on cognitive methods they can make use of. Lots of usual message reading approaches such as comment, SCA, and also the KWL graph take advantage of these assuming techniques, consisting of going over or turning on anticipation, creating inquiries while reading, linking what they read to an additional message, something they have actually seen, or something they have actually experienced, visualizing or picturing what they read, making forecasts regarding what will certainly follow in the message, recalling for keyword phrases and also going over in order to make clear or respond to inquiries, and also assuming out loud to design the methods and also assumed procedures required for understanding. Students can find out and afterwards make use of the techniques that function best for them depending upon the message they read. Drawing much deeper, suggesting out of message with making use of assuming methods can be advantageous not simply to reading understanding however additionally to composing. 4. Have students practice reciprocal teaching. When educated, cognitive methods can be continually exercised as well as carried out via making use of reciprocatory training, which motivates students to take a management duty in their discovering and also start to think of their assumed procedure while checking out or paying attention. Educators can make use of reciprocatory training throughout course conversations, with message that reads out loud, as well as later on with message that reads in teams. The trainees need to turn in between the adhering to functions questioner that postures inquiries regarding components of the lesson, conversation, or message that are complex or uncertain, or to aid make links with formally found out product summarizer that summarizes each vital factor or information from the message, conversation, or lesson, clarifier that attempts to resolve the questioner's concerns as well as ensure that components they located perplexing are clear to others, forecaster that makes a forecast regarding what will certainly occur following based upon what existed, talked about, or read. 5. Directly teach comprehension skills. Students ought to be straight shown understanding abilities such as sequencing, tale framework utilizing the story hill, exactly how to make a reasoning and also attract a verdict, as well as the various sorts of metaphorical language. Trainees must have the chance to very first utilize the abilities with message that they listen to the instructor read it out loud, and afterwards later on with message that they read individually at their very own degree. The understanding abilities and also methods provided over can be utilized with the entire course, as they carefully straighten with reading as well as language arts criteria for center and also primary college trainees. Educators can aid trainees pick reading product with vocabulary that matches their present capability degrees to make sure that within a class, trainees read message as well as servicing vocabulary at degrees that come for each and every of them.